welcome back to another, I guess this will be my project update video. I'm gonna try to do this on Wednesdays, I think, for like a WIP Wednesday. I may record them earlier in the week, but anyway, let's get to it. We'll start with what I'm wearing. If you were here last week, you may recognize the Sexygon cardi. I finished it. I wove in all the ends. It has not been blocked, but I don't know when I'm gonna get to that just because it's a large project and it's gonna take up quite a bit of space. So it's not blocked, but I absolutely love it. Super cozy. Not necessarily the warmest for the like negative wind chills that we have here in Michigan, but this week, but it's fine. First I wanted to show a couple of sewing finished object that I shared this on my TikTok, the sew along. I did some free motion quilting on there. This was a project that I took a class back in 2013 with my grandma and my aunt, and we did a foundation paper piecing class, and I finished it. After over 12 years, it finally got finished. I do need to find buttons here, but right now I have no idea where they are, so I might snag some from my parents' house. But anyway, it is done, and then I added little tabs for to make a little wall hanging. So I'm super excited to hang that up somewhere in my house. This will be kind of a perpetual, so maybe I'll just do updates on this once in a while. But I am working on a paper pieced, like hand English paper pieced quilt. And I decided, I think what I'm gonna do with this is, here's the one I'm working on right now. I think what I'm gonna do with this is take scraps from the quilts that I make and make a little flower, or this is 3 flowers. So make just a couple flowers from each quilt that I make, and sew them all together to make a blanket. I think I had paused on this one because I want to do like kind of like this, I think, where they were alternating, or like there's one white in between. I'm not really sure. I hadn't totally figured out the layout. Anyway, there is my English paper piecing perpetual project right now. We might not get very many updates on that just because it's gonna take a while. And then more so than knitting this week, I did some unknitting. So I'm gonna put up here a picture of a couple of the whips that I had that are no longer whips. One of them is the ceramits, so I reclaimed the yarn for those. I just didn't love the fit after I was thinking about it a little bit, so I think I will remake these sometime, but they're just not a high priority project right now. So I will eventually get back to these. I think I may also just use, I just don't really need fingerless mitts right now. That's why, and I was like, not really feeling it. The second one was this hat that I was making for my husband. I think I messed up the cables somewhere along the way, and I was also using a different size needle and a different size yarn than the pattern called for, and that was just throwing me off. And I gauged it, but it just wasn't, I wasn't vibing with it, and it was not working out well. So I ripped that out, and I am looking for a new hat to make for him. I'm debating between a Musselburgh for him or this one, because I think he would want more of like that cable design. So if you have any other cable hat suggestions, let me know. Kind of going back and forth between these. I am using this red, it's gonna focus with the light behind me, but a Barocco Ultra Wool, color 33145. They don't have color names. So that's what I'm using for his hat. And so that was an unknitting project. The other unknitting that I did this week was I took this sock yarn that I actually dyed in a dye class, and I was working on the Oxbow socks by Andrew Mowry. And again, I gauged it. I got into knitting the sock. I started this around Thanksgiving, and I got through the heel turn and I tried it on, and it was huge. So I don't know if my gauge has just changed that much, or I was doing the wrong size. I don't know. I like my fit, my socks to have a nice like slim fit, and it just was not that. And I don't have anybody in my life that I could gift knit a pair of socks that has bigger feet than me. So that got ripped out. I probably will restart those, or I will restart as a different pair of socks. Speaking of socks, my goal is to make 6 pairs this year, and this was the first finished pair. Funny story, the first one I knit like a year and a half, 2 years ago. Never knit the second one. So right around Christmas, I picked up the yarn again, kind of figured out where I was, and knit the second sock. These just got done blocking, so they look all nice and fresh. And I will link my pattern page or my project page on Ravelry, where you can find all of these projects that I'm talking about, and my pictures and stuff. I'm not going to link them individually. That'd be so many. So anyway, I finished these knit in about a day socks. In DK, these are Emma's Simply Spectacular. I tried them on after blocking, and I love these. So I think I'm going to make a couple more pairs of these this year, maybe just 1 or 2. I'm not sure. I have a ton of DK yarn, or I can hold 2 strands of fingering together. As far as the projects that I showed last time, you're not going to see many of those because I didn't really work on them this week. I'll throw in a picture at the end of some of my sewing projects, because I did some more of that. But I did do some progress on my second half sweatshirt. So the coffee bean was the previous, where we showed that previously. So I did about 1.5 inches or so. I did try this on, and I really need to do like another 3 inches of main body before I get to the ribbing. So my goal is to finish this by the end of January. So if I keep plugging away a little bit here and there, I should be able to get this done. And then as far as, like I said, I finished this. I did not do anything else, but I did start a new project because I realized that I don't really like any of the hats that I have right now. I'm just not feeling it. So I started a Musselburgh for myself. I'm holding, I found this, I think it's Alba in this like charcoal gray color, that I had bought and started using for socks in a knit along, and I realized I don't like this yarn for socks. So I restarted those on something else, and this has just been chilling in my stash. And then I have some leftover mohair from my tessellated vest, and I am holding those together for my Musselburgh. So obviously I'm not very far. I'm not really through the first round of increases yet, but I did switch it from DPNs to a little teeny tiny circular, and I'll probably switch to a different circular once it gets a little bit bigger. So anyway, there's my Musselburgh. This is the first one I'm doing, so I'm very excited to see how that turns out. And then I have one more quick whip to show for knitting that I really should work on, but I kind of lost inspiration for it and I wasn't sure how to proceed. I had knit these 2 stockings, one for myself and one for my husband, and now I'm working on baby girls. So this is how far I've gotten in hers. I am using the Pacific Knits Co. doodles. I have all the holiday charts. I also bought the fantasy chart, and for hers, I really wanted to do this little unicorn, and I have been stuck on what colors to do the unicorn. So that's why I haven't worked on it at all. I think I'm gonna do this blue. Now that I'm saying this, I think I'm gonna do this blue as the background. I'm gonna do the mane and tail in red, and then I'm gonna do the unicorn itself, like the body white. The horn was what was throwing me off, so I think I'm just gonna do the horn in white, because with the blue, I think that's what I'm gonna end up doing. And then I have my other doodles lined up for the rest of the stocking. It just was like what color to do next. So hopefully you'll see this grow and it'll be done for next Christmas. So that is all of the updates that I have for like knitting and crochet projects for now. I do have another crochet project that I'm working on, but I left it at my parents' house. And if you saw my TikTok, I think I did an update on that one. It's a blanket that I'm crocheting for my sister that I found from 2021 that I never finished. So we're finishing projects this year. That is my 2025 goal too, is finish projects that I've started or scrap them and repurpose the yarn for something else or fabric for something else. So here are some of the sewing projects that I did this week. And hopefully get to do some sew along soon. I'm trying to get to enough subscribers so I can go live or stream or whatever. So we can do like a sewing live stream. But yeah, that is what I've worked on this week. And not much, but with a 3-month-old, not much gets done. So anyway, I will see you next week for another Whip Wednesday or Finish Friday or just general crafting update. I also am working on editing a video I did of blocking a sweater that I knit last year that I never blocked. These socks are in that video, and this shawl that I will feature when the ends are woven in was also in that. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be coming soon. And I'm gonna go enjoy my coffee, and yeah, I'll see you next week.